You tried to kill your bosses. One of them ended up dead. Now you want to perpetrate a kidnapping? You three are the craziest criminals I've ever seen in my life. You want to pull it off? You gotta act like it.
Word.
Well, the gang from Horrible Bosses is back. This time they are planning to kidnap a sneaky investor's son after a deal goes bad. Only problem, the hostage wants in on the plan. Yeah, so this one, I guess the first Horrible Bosses one, like, it was
a surprise
popular.
hit. It was very funny, and I think a lot of that has to do with this cast. You've got, Jason Bateman, who's really funny, Jason Sudeikis, who you may know from Saturday Night Live,
right?
Charlie Day, who's very funny, and those three together have a really great chemistry that I think made the first work. Plus, I think there's this thing, we all have had bosses. We all have had horrible bosses at some point in our life. And so there's kind of this identification that happens, especially in that first one as well. Although this one's a little bit different because they're self-employed, so it kind of takes that out of it a little bit. And of course, you see Kevin Spacey there and Jennifer Aniston. They're both back as a pair of the horrible bosses in this one as well.
So you said it worked the first time. I don't even know if you said that, but you said it worked the first time.
It didn't quite work as well as. Yeah, no, I'm aware because it didn't quite work this time. The comedy in this one is good because these guys are so good, but there's nothing underneath it. There's just not that same sense of story and cohesion and that kind of thing. So it's kind of one of those you go and you know you're going to laugh. In fact, probably laugh quite a bit. Especially if you enjoy like a raunch, raunch humor kind of movie because it is definitely over the line and pushes a lot of those boundaries. So if you laugh at that stuff, you'll laugh at a lot of that stuff. But underneath it, there's not really a lot there.
Again, your stick in the mud friend Sarah does not like that. So,
That's
not my
No, I get it, and it's a fair warning. I think you want to know stuff like that going in, depending on where your line is and your sense of humor and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so give us the best, worst, and final grade on this one.
Best thing about Horrible Bosses 2, and we haven't even mentioned him, I said Pine for you. That's Chris Pine, who steps in here. He does an amazing job in this. He actually acts in this movie, which usually in a comedy it's just laughs, but he actually does some good acting. Worst thing, I said empty laughs, and that's because there's nothing behind the laughs. It's just there's not much of a foundation. Overall, I said a little better than mediocre, a C+.
All right, average plus. All right, movie number 2. The breakout stars of the Madagascar movies get their own adventure in the Penguins of Madagascar. The guys join forces with an undercover organization to stop the villainous doctor from destroying the world. All right, so this one working for you?
Yeah, I think it works for what it is. You take a big risk when you take the sidekick and make them the star of the movie. It'd be like taking Kramer from Seinfeld and trying to do a whole TV show around him. Sometimes the sidekick just works as a sidekick and not as the center. And I think this movie does show some of those problems.
What a good analogy that was, by the way.
Yeah, well, because these penguins are meant for comic relief, when you take comic relief and make it the whole movie, you almost kind of need dramatic relief. And I think that's why they bring in these other characters here as well. So there's some of that, but it's a lot of laughs. And I'll tell you what, the kids are really going to love this one. It's laughs from beginning to end. What makes these penguins work is kind of that slapstick comedy and a lot of puns, a lot of really dry humor, and that stuff is throughout this movie. So yeah, they'll love that stuff.
And it is what, G, I suppose, huh?
I think it's PG.
Is it PG?
But yeah, you can certainly take the family to it, and they'll have a good time.
Okay, so give us the best, worst, and final grade on this one.
Yeah, best thing I said gag order. I think the gags are really funny in this. They do a great job at keeping the humor. Worst thing I said sidekicked. We talked about that a little bit. It's hard to make them the central focus of a movie. And as far as an overall grade, I said still pretty good. It's a B. Okay,
it's a B. Yep. All right, well, it's a tease for Star Wars fans everywhere who just cannot wait until Christmas 2015. The film trailer for the 7th Star Wars movie came out yesterday. The title of the next installment of the saga, The Force Awakens. Fans eagerly awaiting the debut, partly because main characters from the original 1977 cast will be appearing in this movie, including Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher. Again, Christmas 2015, so you're going to have to wait this entire box office release. But you can see this full trailer at KY3.com. Any thoughts on that one, Mr. Dicer?
Oh, my goodness. The Millennium Falcon shot in this teaser trailer is phenomenal. It confirms everything I knew about J.J. Abrams. He is the one to trust with this movie. And you watch this trailer, and it's so exciting. And I know he knows exactly how the music should be used, how the sound effects should be used. He knows what makes the universe fun and interesting.
Right.
Even in just a minute trailer, he kind of sums up everything that's cool. I watched it with my kids, I watched it with friends, and there are just these moments, even just in this 1 minute, where they're like, oh, I've never seen a lightsaber like that, or oh, look at that shot. I mean, it's so much fun. I cannot wait. 1 year away. I just, I'm so excited.
You're like the calendar with the red X's.
Yeah, the first
Marking off the days.
The first one came out a year after I was born. I mean, imagine that. This universe just existing through my entire life.
Yeah, it's all you've ever known. It's all I've ever known.
It's all I've ever wanted.
All right, thanks. Aaron Dicer, your movie friend. Again, that trailer is up right now at KY3.com. We'll put all of his reviews up there as well. When we come back, Jeremy Rabe is finishing up our festive decorations. It's a topiary that is easy to make. Imagine that. You won't want to miss it. Stick around.